I love when we get to come to the Beauty Sports desk and say that we have a first. We've got our first volleyball athlete sitting with us. Welcome to this week's episode of Beers with Beauties.
Doesn't matter if you got Coors, Busch, Bud Light, or local shops IPA. All beers are welcome at Beers and Beauties, baby. Let's go.
I love it. I love it so much when we can say that we've got a volleyball player here with us today. But before we get into it and we do the whole intro for you, Cowie, how are we doing, bud?
Yeah, we're good. It's funny. I joked, but I thought you might actually do it. That I said, what are you going to do the intro and say Beers with Addie? Because both Emma Parker, our guest, and I chose to leave you high and dry on your beer today. So... sorry.
Just flying solo, holding it together for the team here
Someone's
today.
gotta.
Does that mean I have to drink the equivalent of what you guys would normally have?
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, not today.
Good
but
luck. Good luck. No, if this is your first episode here at Beauty Sports, thank you for being here. If this is your, I don't know what we're on at, 64th episode, maybe 63rd episode. Wow, you're a dedicated person, and
we love you.
Putting us in your ears every yeah, we do
we
love
you.
If you don't already, find us over on Instagram at Beauty Sports. You can find Addie at Addie Miles Abbott. You can find me at Cowie14, and you can find some new merch at beautysports.com/shop, because I'm rocking again this week a different sweater than we had on last week.
And it looks fantastic.
And without further ado, our first ever volleyball guest is U of W's own. Honestly, Emma, a rock star when we look up your resume. We're not going to rattle it off for you because that gets embarrassing. But Emma Parker, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here.
Like we were talking before the show, because Cowie is very, very big into volleyball. And I'm kind of in one of these situations where I'm just so pumped to sit here and learn and listen to you two nerd out about volleyball for the next little bit. Because
I don't know if I'm nerd out status anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
But reading your resume is like amazing. Like it is, you have had such a cool career. Like, and it all started in St. Norbert.
Yeah. Middle of nowhere.
Hey, you're talking to someone who lived in Surrey, which is more middle of nowhere than St. Norbert.
No one just knows where St. Norbert is.
Okay, I gotta tell, before we get into anything, this is, and you can laugh wherever you're listening to this, how dumb I was when I first moved to Winnipeg. So I interviewed for a job on a Friday. I started my job on a Monday. And Sass, our buddy Sass, lived in Baylor,
right.
which is like 2 steps inside the perimeter.
Right.
And I had, like, my family that I had in the city lived in St. James. So every time we would come in, this was about as far as we'd go. It was like Polo Park, and then the rest of Winnipeg seemed like this just abyss.
Yeah.
And Sass had said, well, buddy, it's by St. Norbert. And my response was, well, how far is St. Norbert from Winnipeg? And she was like, no, it's like basically Winnipeg. I'm like, dude, but is it a town? And then, so we went on this rant thinking, because I associate, even people would say, oh, I live in Transcona. I'm like, how far is that from Winnipeg?
Yeah. How far are we driving to get to Transcona?
Yeah. So St. Norbert isn't in the middle of nowhere. It's essentially like attached to the city of Winnipeg.
It's just an unknown place for many people.
An unknown place. Were you right in the middle of town, or did you kind of live?
I live in St. Adolphe, actually.
Yeah. That's how she lived by the Thibodeaus, man.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. That's spent many a night in that St. Adolphe rink.
Oh, I know. Monday night senior slot was the worst. I like the town of St. Adolphe, but the senior women's ice slot, when I don't play senior women's hockey anymore, but when I did, it was Monday night ice. Is it still?
I think it's Monday night ice.
Oh, yeah. And you get home. So it was like 9:30 Monday slot in St. Adolphe, and you get home and you're just absolutely wired.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I scorekeep that right now.
Do you?
My dad refs it.
Yes.
They're still in it. Like Brett used to be in it.
Yeah. With the Preds.
No, it's Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday.
Oh, so they expanded their...
And
why did they choose...
9 and... like 8:45.
Yes,
yeah.
8:45. Okay, so now it's 3 days a week in St. Adolphe.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, see, that's why I don't play senior anymore. I love St. Adolphe, man, but I'm not going there 3 nights a week for hockey.
Is it true that the St. Adolphe bar has over 100 options of wings?
You know what? I think it is. I heard that they're great for their wings, and I've been there for their wings. I don't know if it's 100, but they do have a lot of wicked
I
flavors.
heard that
I've been there
there's
with
peanut
Kyle.
butter and jelly
Yeah.
wings.
Yeah.
Is that real life?
I think so, yeah.
That sounds
I had
like a
like
bad
this
time.
maple one recently. I've never heard of it, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was. Nice.
So why did you have to go to high school in St. Norbert? Was it for volleyball?
No. it
Did you
was-
want to?
My sisters went there.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what other school I would have went to. Like I think it's just because it's like the closest one. I think that's what you usually do.
Does St. Adolph not have a high school?
No.
What?
Just yeah.
K-8?
Where
K-8.
else?
No doubt, eh?
So where else could you
Neverville?
pick?
You can go
go
to no. I think you have to stay like in the same division kind of because Niverville's not in like St. Adolph and St. Norbert are like attached kind of.
Oh, and Niverville's probably in Hanover, maybe.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Anyway.
Good thing we've got that sorted. Good thing we know where to get wings and why you went to that high school.
Oh, gosh.
So let's talk about the volleyball journey because was it high school or were you also playing club at that time?
Yeah, I think I started club around probably grade 7 or 8. My sisters also played when they were younger, so I always went and watched them. So I think I started grade 7, 8, and then I just went with it to the end.
So you have 2 other sisters?
I do, yeah.
And you guys are all volleyball players?
Yeah, my mom actually played volleyball at U of W, and my dad was on the basketball team.
Oh,
my
spoiler
gosh.
alert.
It's all coming together now.
I love this because we prompted Emma before we hit record today, and I said, "Yeah, here's the things that we're kind of gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you if you always knew that you want to go to U of W, or if you had a bunch of other things on the plate." And she sat silently
Yeah.
until it was recording, and then drops it like, "Yeah, my mom and dad both are U of W alum. One volleyball, one basketball.
Exactly.
So no wonder
Yeah.
you became a Wesmen."
That's
You
right.
bet.
Just the tallest family walking around.
Yeah, that's true too. Are your sisters taller than you?
No, I'm taller than them, and I think I'm taller than my mom.
Oh,
No kidding.
really?
5'10"
That's interesting. And your dad?
I don't even know what he is. He's probably like 6'1".
6'1" in there?
Yeah,
But a Westman family through and through.
yeah.
Wow. That is funny that she held that.
I know.
She held that nugget.
Well played.
Well
Like,
done.
well
You say
done.
this is your first podcast. I don't believe you.
She's like pocketing that nugget.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you're playing club. Where'd you play your club?
I played at Wesmen Volleyball Club, and then I played Alliance in my like grade 11 year, which is like this little unknown club. Like I don't really know how to explain it. Like it was pretty low, and then like our year, I think it was pretty good. We got 3rd at provincials, and then my final is when I went to junior Wesmen, and then that's when like I met the coach, and then that year, I think in grade 12 is when she asked me to sign with U of W, and then I didn't even question it. I was like, yeah, works for me.
The rest
Let's
is history.
go.
Yeah.
Got the pen?
Yes. Yeah, literally on the spot.
Yeah. It was actually a napkin contract. Let me write this down.
So you agree? Perfect.
Yeah. No, that's fun. So talk about as your St. Norbert team, did you guys, I think you did okay in provincials with that in high school, didn't you?
Yeah, we did pretty good in grade 9 and 10. I think all the years. And my mom coached the team for grade 11 and 12. And then I don't even know. I think we lost. I think I remember losing. But like I was a setter
Okay.
and left side. But like when I played club, I was always setting. Mm-hmm. And in grade 12 on Wesmen, I want to say I like changed to a left side at some point, but I think I was setting, and I pretty much made the Wesmen team as a setter, like
Whoa.
the university, which was weird because now I'm the left side.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think I went to Canada Games and the Team Toba, and then that's when I made Team Toba, but 2 setters already made the team. And then I was like, I went with the coach and I was like, what position am I? Like, I made the team, but like, what do you want me to do? And I think he was like, go right side, or like pretty much just test it out. So I was just like a body. I honestly was like, okay, I'm just gonna have some fun here.
Yeah.
And then we went out to, I think it was BC. And the first game I started on the bench, like the first set. And then he threw me in left side. And I'm like, all right, let's figure
Here's
this
my
out.
chance,
And
yeah.
then I just kept on left side the whole tournament after that. And then after, he was coaching the Canada Games the next year. And I said, like, what am I trying out for? Like, do you want me as a setter or left side? Like, just tell me it. And he goes, you should probably try as left side. I'm like, all right, we're changing paths here. Thanks for that. I think I made the university team as a setter, but
Here we are.
right,
Maybe
sweet.
worked out in your favor in the end.
it did. Yeah, definitely.
Oh gosh. I also this is maybe a question I shouldn't ask, but I know in Surrey we had a pretty decent volleyball program. And our there's a family, the Young family, and Becky she was a BU Bobcat back in the day, and Rhonda, her mom, was our coach. And Becky, because she was the just outright best volleyball player on our team, ended up being the setter. And she ended up setting for BU as well. But I do think, and I think there's a little bit of this, that small town, that because your mom was the coach and because you were probably an elite level in that scoop of people and you could set, do you think that there was an influence of having your mom as a coach and being a decent volleyball player that ended you at being a setter at a high school level?
I think it definitely starts like that.
Yeah.
Because the setter, they're running the court.
Yeah.
That's what they're in charge of everything.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely has it. And then I think in the grade 12th year or 11th, another setter came in.
Yeah.
So then we were like, you're setting every single ball. And then they put me left side and I was like, let's try this out. So it worked out, but you're definitely, for sure, because they're running the court.
Yes, exactly. So there is that, especially when you come to smaller programs, smaller towns where you don't have, and we've talked about this, like the pros and cons of playing sports in a small community. Sometimes you miss out on the compete or the need then to just fill the spot because that's the group you have.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's the one thing I kind of want to pick your brain on in that scenario is from an athlete's perspective, legit being at a high level competition like that, and then your coach being throwing you a curveball like that. What was your mindset? You got a big smile on your face right now, but at the time where you're just come at me, bro. I'll do whatever you need.
No, literally. I just wanted to play and be on the team. So I was like, whatever you say, I'll do. Whatever you want me to do, I'll make it happen.
Say the words.
So he's like, you're left side, and I go up to my mom. I go, okay. You gotta train me how to be a left side. I don't know what I'm doing, at all. I gotta train everything new. And it was, I was ready for it. I was like, yeah, why not? Let's try it out.
Yes. Oh my gosh, has that always been a mindset that you have? Was that just natural? Because there would be a lot of other athletes in that situation that would be like, whoa, I've trained so hard in this position, and you're like, well, let's get after it, boss.
I think I try to do that with a lot of things, just to have an open mindset of everything and just test it all out and be like, whatever you need, I'll help you out and do things like that. And also on my team right now, actually, my middle, she has been a right side all her life. And she wants to play right side, but we needed a middle and we needed her. And we pretty much she didn't want to, but she's like, you know what? If I'm on the court, if I'm going to be a starter, I'm going to have to change my mindset and go middle. So she also had to do it. So I think it's pretty much if you want to be on that court and if you're needed in that spot, you got to figure it out.
It's a really good lesson, volleyball or otherwise. Yeah. Any team sport that you have, we've seen it. You see that reference. Addie and I's closest reference always is hockey. And you see that that's a common thing, right? Someone comes in and it's like, well, no, I'm not a defense. And it's like, but you are now.
You need to be, yeah.
We need you to play this.
Team.
Exactly, right? So I think that's such a good message to share.
Oh, and I think we need to talk about it a lot because people are trying to specialize at such a young age. And it's one of the best things I ever did was switch positions because you get a different perspective. You get a different outlook on the game.
Yeah.
So many positive things happen when you move around and get the perspective of what somebody else is feeling on the court.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. That's insane.
Agreed. Jump us. So obviously we always knew we were going to be a Wesmen, even though we weren't going to say it until the podcast started. But
yeah, that's right.
So you become a U of W Wesmen, and I was reading some articles and things on you. I think you started your university career with some injuries, did you not?
I did, yeah. I was a starter. I started right away, but the first game of my regular season, I sprained I think it was my right ankle, and I was absolutely out for the count, screaming bloody murder on the court. But
oh baby,
I was out for the first half of so I missed all the games, and then I think I started out either the last game of the first half or the first of the second half. Mm-hmm. So I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, it's fine. I missed a few games until I realized now I'm I literally missed half of my rookie year. Yeah. And you only have 5 years to play. So I like just like thought I'm like, okay, I gotta like keep up my workouts and like not get injured, which hasn't happened. But hey, I've been trying.
Yeah.
Was that your first major injury that you had through sports where you missed any significant amount of time?
I actually played basketball in high school, and I think I sprained my pinky. I think my thumb. I think I did something to my thumb, and it was like right before playoffs. Ooh. And my basketball coach was livid with me, but I was like, I didn't mean to.
It's not like someone signs up for this.
I had a cast on, but I like made it just before semis or something, and like I took the cast off, and like I probably shouldn't have been playing, but taped it up, and I said I'm good to go.
Yep.
And made it work.
Like every athlete.
I know. There's a reason my finger looks like this. Just tape it tighter. And I think on last week's episode, we had a University of Manitoba basketball player who just came back off of injury, Sam Onyebuchi, which I didn't screw up. Yeah. And so I think it's a really important conversation. We have a lot of parents and a lot of younger listeners to hear is that we all know that injury is an innate natural part of sports and that battle back, but it's something that it's really hard to prepare for. I mean, you have the mental fortitude of like, you're obviously saying, I'm going to do what I need to do. I don't care what position I have to play. I want to play. And that mindset applies also to injury. I don't, it's going to be hard work, but I don't necessarily care how hard it is. I'm going to get back and play.
Exactly. My, I think it was like, I don't know when COVID was, the first year of COVID.
Yeah.
Whatever that was. We were just practicing, and it was the beginning of the year, and my shoulder was hurting, and my shoulder never hurts, even though I'm hitting all the time, but I'm like, no, it's fine. And then it was like a little too much, and I got checked, and my doctor, he told me I needed surgery. Yeah. And in that moment, I'm like, no. I'm like, you're lying. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, what do you mean? But it was perfect timing because COVID hit. So then I was like, if we're getting surgery, it's right now.
Yeah.
So I went to Dauphin, I think, to get an MRI because that was the first one. They were like, you can get it now. I'm like, book it, Dad. We're going to Dauphin. I don't care. I need to get the surgery. So I went to Dauphin. I got the MRI right away. And then that's when they like saw everything. They're like, you need surgery. I'm like, all right, do it right away. Like, I don't care. So then I went for surgery. And I think honestly, I think I was going back and forth. And then I was like, no, what am I thinking? I need to like get this done. So I did it, and that was right through COVID. So I didn't miss a lick of volleyball. Like, we were practicing, but it was nothing. It was like, you couldn't even go near anyone. Everyone was wearing masks. So it was perfect. You couldn't even leave the house. So that's when I had the surgery.
Blessing in disguise.
I was just going to say, this is...
It was. People say that, and they're like, COVID. I'm like, honestly, I needed that 1 year because like I didn't miss anything. I tore my labrum. Yeah. And like I was doing 8 months of rehab, and they said it's going to be 8 months. And I'm like, I got 8 months. I actually have 8 months to do this. So I was working so hard to try and get it back. And I went to like the doctor, and I was like, I need the best physio right now to get me on the court in 8 months. And he's like, here you go. So then I worked, and then I went back to volleyball, and oh my God, I was bad. Holy.
Really, eh?
My arm, like I couldn't even it was scary. Like I was like, I can't hit right now. Like, Coach, you're gonna have to take me off. I'm like, this is so good. And he's like, it's gonna come back. I'm like, it better. Yeah. And then it did. It eventually came back, and someone said, they're like, you got your hip back. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
So it took a little bit, but
that's so funny. It'll come back. It better. I'm coming for you.
Coach, this bike is entirely different than the last bike I used to ride.
So let's take one step back, because I think it's important for people to hear the actual nitty gritty of what your physio was like. So was it like every day certain exercises? Like, walk us through your 8 months.
Yeah. So the beginning was me laying in bed watching Netflix. And then my sister, she's actually an athletic therapist, so she saved me.
That works out.
Yeah.
Big shout. What's your sister's name?
Kelly Parker.
Okay.
She took care of me. Like,
big shout out there.
Oh my God. I can't even thank her enough for that. I think it was like you had to start exercises, I want to say like within like a week or 2 weeks. But the thing is, like, we were looking at the pamphlets and we were confused and we couldn't get a hold of people because COVID. My sister's like, you need to start now. And I'm like, I literally can't feel my arm. I don't even know. We were losing our minds. Yeah. So I want to say we started too early. I don't actually know. But like, she's like, okay, lift your arm. And I'm like, I don't feel like it's attached to me. Like, I couldn't even do anything. Like, it was so scary. Wow. So I got out of the bed and I think you had a broom or something. I don't even know. All you have to do is like lift your arm up. I did it twice. I lay back. I'm sweating. I start sweating profusely. I'm like, I can't. I like literally start freaking out. I'm like, what? And she's like, you just haven't used your muscle. Like, you're just tired. And I'm like, no way. There's no way. Are you kidding me? I was like, then you had to do it twice that day. And I'm like, I don't want to do it, Kelly. I don't want to do it. She's like, you're fine. You can do it. I'm like, I'm going to pass out. So then I did it. And like, eventually it got better and better. But like, it was like, it was honestly scary. Like when I had these broom exercises, they were like, okay, now bring it all the way to the side. I'm like, I can't. I always just said I can. She's like, yes, you can. Stop it. I'm like, okay, I can do it. So then like, you just had to keep working even though like you don't want to. Like, like 3 times a day, as much as you think it's like, oh, that's nothing. I'm like, why don't I don't want to get out of bed and do this. Yeah. Like, but you just constantly am doing exercises, watching TV.
Also, like, blessing in disguise of a sister who's an AT in COVID in a world where we can't interact with any other human beings. You have a year off to have surgery and rehab with an AT in your home.
Oh, yeah. No.
Whoa.
Like, stars are aligning.
It is cool. We do need, like, we've had some conversations around COVID, obviously, with other athletes, and no one's story was positive coming out of that.
None.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone else had it sucked. You lose this year and you're missing your teammates. Everyone we've talked to was
yeah,
it's
you know,
huge.
you're checking in on your own mental health, trying to make sure that stays in check. You're still a student. You're trying to navigate that, like all those things. And then we get Emma Parker, who's like, whoa, couldn't have had stars align more.
Yeah. Seriously, I tell people like, I don't believe you. I'm like, no, it was good for me.
Yeah.
I always try and think like everything happens for a reason, and I'm like,
so
there
true.
you go.
Yeah.
I needed that surgery.
So tell us, you torn labrum.
Yeah.
So for everyone who, this is my very flashback to Nat and Fizz classes went in like 2008. So it's like if you're going to put a pillow in the socket of a joint, that your labrum is, so you have them in your hip, you have them in your shoulder, any of those like ball joints. So no wonder it felt like it's not connected.
Yeah.
You're literally talking about repairing the pillow between your arm and your body in a sense.
Yeah.
It's not a small thing.
No, thought it was. It wasn't.
Yeah, not a small thing.
It was.
So when we say 3 times a day broom exercises, that's not a small thing.
No.
And there is one thing that you just said that I really want to touch on, because you said, I have to get it done even when I don't want to. Mm-hmm. And that is something that, like, for every young girl listening to this show needs to hear.
Yeah.
Because being a high performance athlete, being an athlete that, you know, you're traveling, you're on the road, all those different components that you have as a university athlete, 90% of the time you don't want to do them. It's like, I want to go to game day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to put my jersey on. Yeah, exactly.
So as an athlete, you know, currently still performing, still doing all those things, like, do you experience that like on the road where you're like, I have to do this work, I have to get this done? And what are some things that you do to keep pushing through and continue that consistent mindset?
Yeah, so probably schoolwork is one of them where I'm like, I don't want to open that book. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm on a bus, I'm with the girls. But, like, I think, like, I have to open this now because I have a game later. Like, I'm not going to have any time to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to come on the bus on the way home. It's going to be dark. I can't do it. I'm going to go to my test and paper the next day, and they're going to be like, where is it? Mm-hmm. You don't have an excuse. Like, you have to get the work done even if you're an athlete. Mm-hmm. And I honestly just tell I just honestly just don't think I have a choice half the time. I'm like, you got to get it done. Like, this is your job, basically. Like,
yeah, it's funny because I say this in my work environment all the time, that I honestly believe that 95% of why I work the way I work and how I work is because of my time in sports. Yeah. And I think that's the messaging that you're saying too. It's like, I don't have a choice.
Yeah, there's no choice.
It's not a choice. This is the job. Exactly. I am a student and I am an athlete.
Yeah.
And I guess your choice is, I don't want to be a student or an athlete, and you're going to go sit on your couch and eat potato chips.
Exactly.
Or you do the work.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. That's the 2 choices.
Yeah, like if you're on like the team, like you have to do the schoolwork. Like you're an athlete and got to do the academic first. Yeah. Yep. Student athlete. Student comes first. Mm-hmm. So they say, but.
Yeah, I'm with you, because I was like, I was the same. I'm like, that's what they say.
Yeah.
But you got to get it done. Like I always got to say it, but I got to get it done no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. What are you taking in school?
I'm in education.
Okay.
I majored in kinesiology.
Yeah.
And I minored in sociology.
Okay.
Don't even know what sociology is, but they said I had a minor in it, so I said, check it off.
There we go.
Well, so
love
do you
it.
actually want to be a teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I
It's like
do.
some people take education and they're like, no, I don't. I'm like, what? Okay, because that's extra time. It's not like you're doing that in your
Yeah.
first 4. That's
I'm
extra.
in the integrated program, so I'm in my 4th year right now.
Okay.
So I'm actually in a school, and like next year is my last. I'm done volleyball, but I got one more year of school.
Yeah, okay. And then do you know what grade you want to teach?
Right now I'm in kindergarten.
Whoa. How's
holy.
that? Snotty noses.
It's crazy. I got some good stories from that place, but it's crazy. Yeah. I think the first day, honestly, one story that is so funny to me. This kid goes to the bathroom because kindergarten, the bathrooms are in the room, right?
Okay.
So he's in there and he starts I look under the stall and I see his clothes. I'm like, what is he doing in there? Like, why is his clothes off? I'm like, okay, maybe he's just going to the bathroom. No, he runs out butt naked in front of everyone. He puts his arms up and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm running at him. I'm like, what are you doing? Your clothes on? Like, what are you? And he's just like, he has no idea, right? He's just smiling. He's like, yeah. I'm like, nope, we don't do that, but okay. I got the best stories.
Trying to keep a straight face. No, Billy. No, that is
I'm
not
literally
appropriate
peeing my
behavior.
pants laughing, running up to him.
Hey,
That's funny, but don't do it again.
you need that go with the flow attitude if
Oh,
you're going to
yeah.
be teaching
my
kindergarten.
God.
That
I
is
can't ima-
for
I
sure.
I can't imagine.
It's just
Kindergarten
like,
streaker.
yeah. Seriously.
Streaker.
Oh God.
It's fun though. It
amazing.
keeps you on your toes. Like you're
Would.
pretty much babysitting, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I love
That
that.
is
Oh my
fun.
god.
I'm also in
that's a
phys
good
ed
one.
though, so I got like K to 4 of the phys ed.
Okay.
So like it's half day kindergarten, half day phys ed.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's fun.
So
Yeah.
half day
like it.
kindergarten, half day dodgeball. 'Cause that's
Exactly.
all I would play.
Oh, Ash. Okay, so the other half of this house is a high school phys ed teacher, and I got a text message this week. It was intramurals, and it was students versus teachers. And you better believe, like, you think you're a student, and your teachers are across the gym from you playing dodgeball. You're not throwing like lightly. And Ash got a dodgeball to the face.
Oh no.
And she sent me a text, and she's just, well, you know what it's like to get hit in the nose.
Cry.
And this is how she described it. She's like, I think that kid hit me so hard, the back of my head touched my back.
What grade was he in?
High school, like this is like, high school.
Oh,
phys ed.
okay, yeah.
like, yeah, not a,
Bang.
yeah, oh, yeah, like
That's insane.
right off the nostrils,
Oh my gosh.
just a whiplash, like, yeah, teary eyed. Anyway,
That's
you're right.
crazy. I'm sure the amount of stories you will have is absolutely insane. But let's go back to the fact that you're currently in your last year.
Yeah.
So there's 2 different avenues I want to go on this, because there's a part of you being a senior coming to the end of your career, but there's also the part of, is there anything after for volleyball? Like, so let's talk about you being a senior right now, because if I'm correct, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, 2-time MVP, and also Wesmen Female Athlete of the Year. Is that who we've got at the Beauties Sports desk?
There's the list. There was a list.
You are not leaving the Wesmen.
Yeah, there's a stamp. There's an
organization.
Emma Parker stamp.
Like, how does that feel to know that you've had such a huge impact on that? And now knowing that your mom and your dad are both alumni,
Yeah.
right? How does that feel for you to be a part of it and to leave such a huge impression?
I feel like that's the goal when someone like comes into university. They just like want to try and make a difference with the team and all that. And I basically came to have fun with the girls and play some volleyball, and because I just love the sport so much. And my team has been a huge part of it. Like I have had the best group of girls for the 5 years. Like I just love them. No drama. You know, there's drama on every team. Never.
So
Yes.
Never
sweet.
any drama.
That's
I
the
don't know how,
best.
but it's basically the girls. And I just love the organization of Wesmen, like the athletic director, the coaches on all the other teams. Like I just am so close with all of them. So like I just, obviously whenever I'm there, I just try and do my best always when I go to practicing games, and always try and perform to my best ability. So I'm very grateful to have the recognition of all those awards for sure.
Oh, for sure.
I think I want to talk about just this year specifically because, and I'm going to give a shout out to this guy who did an article on you with the Free Press, Josh.
Oh yes.
Joshua. in here, and it does. So if you want to read more about Emma, Joshua Frey Sam, maybe it's Fry. I'm not sure how he says it. Do you know?
That sounds good to me.
Me too. He did an article recently, like 10 days ago, on Emma, and it's like you're hitting your stride now. Mm-hmm. Do you feel the most confident that you've ever felt as a volleyball player this year?
Oh, that's a big question. You know what? Maybe, yeah. I think it's because I'm like starting to realize everything in your 5th year, because your 1st year, you're just like a little baby figuring everything out. Yeah. And now I'm like starting to notice, because I'm one of the older ones, of what has to get done. Yeah. To get up there and get high performance out of everyone. Yeah. So yeah. I'd say so.
And I think your team results this year speak for themselves, right? You're in a bye week this week, but you're sitting 3rd in Can West. Yeah. And also, let's touch on this maybe too as a 2-part question of, you know, what you obviously, I want you to talk about the last 6 games that you have here, the next one coming up with the home and home, but also talk to us about the parity that you're seeing in Can West. Like when we look at the standings, it's tight.
It's crazy. Like it's anyone. That's usually like volleyball though. Like my friend always says, she's on Sask and she's always like, it's anyone's game. Like volleyball can always be whoever's day it is, whoever's having a good day and shows up. That's basically what it is for volleyball. But we got to be on our best game every single time, because anyone can take it. And it's so close. So like, but like the standings, like it's like, okay, we need them to lose, them to win. Yeah. But that's not the mindset you have to have. It's like you gotta do your job and play your best, because you have no control on anyone else.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, so you've got, talk to us about the last 6 games that you have, because you've got some big matchups there.
Huge, yeah. U of M's always a big match. Come on, crosstown rivals.
Yeah. So are you at IGAC or Duckworth the first game?
Thursday is at U of M.
Okay.
And then
and then the Saturday is at Duckworth?
Yeah, U of W. And that's always a big game.
I was going to say, let's talk environment here for a second. Like, what is that like?
It's so fun. I love it, because you got to bring your best game against U of M, because you know they know what you ate for breakfast that day.
Literally. It's like they were at Stella's at the next table.
You're all still eyeing each other down.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. Anytime it's U of M though, you're U of W, you're like, all right, this is the game. You gotta show up. I love
that.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, if you want to watch Emma and her Wesmen teammates compete against the University of Manitoba Bisons, Thursday, February 2nd at 6 p.m. And I think you're wrong. Duckworth Center. It says Saturday.
You're kidding. Huh? Where is it?
You're at home.
On Thursday?
Then you're away.
Home. And
okay.
Does that change that for you?
I feel like people have been telling me otherwise. I haven't looked myself.
Well, I'm just looking at the website here.
Yeah. Versus,
Yeah, so you're at home versus Manitoba on Thursday at 6 p.m. So you can head on down to U of W and watch them take on the Bisons at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And then you're back at U of M on Saturday at 2:45 at IGAC.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
So that'd be fun.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you know what? I've said this on the last number of episodes, but one of my favorite thing about having university athletes on our podcast is the smile, the passion.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell that you're jacked for this and that you love the sport you play. You love your teammates. You love your school.
Oh, yeah.
And you love to compete.
You bet.
Then talk to us about how you finish out.
Huge game. So next is UBC. Yeah. They're number 2, I think.
Yeah.
They're crushing some teams. And we know, like every time we go to a game, we always like we're the underdog usually. That's usually how we've been the last 6 games or last 6 years. We've been the underdog.
Yeah.
And that's just even better, because they're like, they don't know what's going to hit them, hopefully, That's what they're hoping for, but that's going to be a tough game, which is good, because that just makes it fun.
I love.
And then who was it? Sask?
Yeah.
Sask, And that's, I don't know, Sask to some of us is like a U of M, kind of like the vibe of Sask.
Are there a lot of Manitoba girls that end up going to U of S, or?
My best friend's on Sask.
Okay. That's what's your best friend's name?
Jess Angelic.
Okay, so shout out Jess. They're finishing their season here.
Yeah. So my 5th year night, she's going to be here.
Oh, so fun.
My God. That is actually sick.
Okay, that makes me happy.
It works out.
Yeah.
That works out.
There's I think there's one other girl on Avery Allard is the setter for that team.
Okay.
So.
And she's from Manitoba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's always fun. A big game. Sask is always a big game too.
That is so fun.
And we're close. I think all those teams are all close. So.
Yeah, I looked up the stat. No, I still have it open. Yeah, so you guys sit with 26 points. So then the interesting thing too, because Mount Royal and UFV are also with 26 points, but it must shake out onto your guys' wins and losses against or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Because everyone's 13-5, and then U of M sits right behind that at 12-6 with 24 points. U of S is down with 14 points. They're 7-11.
They beat Trinity, which is number 1.
Whoa. Okay, so that's what you're saying.
Right,
Anyone
it's
can beat anyone.
It's
Yeah.
literally anyone, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
interesting.
what does playoffs look like from a volleyball perspective?
Last year, I don't think last year counts because it was COVID, but usually we go, if you host, I think you have to be, I don't know, it might be top 4 or something to host. I don't really know. But we go to, like, say we go to Trinity. I remember one year we went to Trinity, and it's best of 3. I'm pretty sure. So you stay there and you play 3 games.
Yep.
I think it was my second or third year. I don't even know what year it was. We only played 2 games because we got the quick L's. Yeah. But you stay there until the end. So it's usually best of 3, and that's first round. And then the second round, I think, is best of 3 again. And then it's probably the finals.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never made it that far, so I don't really know. But I think it's I think it could be best of 3 or best of 5, but I think it's probably best of 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fun. Where are nationals this year? Do you know?
I want to say UBC.
Whoa, that'd be a nice
because-
place.
I think it's one of the teams that are up there. I think it's UBC because if they're in it, then we get 4 spots.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we
Oh,
want.
which is interesting.
huge for
eh?
nationals. Yeah.
If they're the host and they're ranked, that's huge.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm just gonna Google it to confirm. U Sports.
Because the one thing I always like to ask, because you are home against Bisons, and then you actually go to Vancouver to play UBC. So do you have any rituals? And the reason I ask this when you go to Vancouver is because it's always a big trip. Like anybody from Manitoba loves going to Vancouver. When I played Bisons, we'd always run into the ocean.
Really?
Always
That's
run
so
into
fun.
the ocean. And then just so happened that there was like a cupcake shop across the street. So we'd run into the ocean and then we'd go get cupcakes.
Sopping
and then
wet.
and then we'd go back to the
I can
hotel.
just picture you just tromping your wet shit into a cupcake shop. And they're like, not these freaking Bisons again.
They're back. Here they come. Put the close sign up.
God.
But they probably loved us because it was what, $15 a cupcake, and we like
$15
Bucks? That must be a massive cupcake.
It was huge. It had its own box. And it was filled. It was so
$15?
big. It was hard to eat. You know those ones?
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
big. It was hard to eat. Do you guys do anything when you're on the road? We always ran in the ocean.
Not bad.
Always.
Very evident that
We don't
That
run in
doesn't
the
happen.
ocean. We do not run in the ocean, but we go to the ocean. We do go and see it, but it's usually like freezing. Like, do you go when it's freezing? Oh, yeah. Okay, we don't.
Oh, polar bear
But
days.
yeah, we go near it and we go check out the water.
Go
What
near
else do we
it.
do? Yeah. I didn't think we touched it. I remember us on the beach just running, but I don't even think we went to the water. Like, yeah.
You
No,
see
hey?
the difference between volleyball and hockey. Volleyball is having a fitness session beachside. She's like, "Oh, we're just having a casual run,
just going to run.
on the beach, but we didn't touch it. We just viewed
Looked
it."
at it.
Bison hockey is like, yeah, we are stripping down into our sports bras and we're running into the ocean. Then we're putting our clothes back on while we're soaking wet. And we're going to buy $15 cupcakes.
Yeah.
That's the ritual.
And we're gonna just every single time.
It says information for the 2023 championship coming soon. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
not even out yet.
I'm pretty sure it's UBC.
Let's
I've been
go.
wrong many times though.
Yeah, I always say I'm wrong 50% of the time.
Yeah.
so.
There you go.
There you go.
We also go to Cactus Club.
Oh,
that-
that's
yeah.
that's good.
The team's
solid.
obsessed with Cactus Club, so.
You know what Cactus Club has is oh no, that's not that restaurant. No, they do have good food there though. At Cactus Club, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
Hudson's has a peanut butter burger. Like they
yes.
literally spread peanut butter on a cookie sheet, and then it's like pretty thick, and then they put it in the freezer, and then they like cookie cutter it so that's the shape of your burger, and then they put it on your burger patty, and it sounds like it would be not good. and it's so good.
It's so good. I've had a peanut butter burger.
Oh my God. And now you
So
can
good.
get them. The only thing I didn't like is because it just felt like you were eating this. The bun was huge too. So they'll actually make it into a wrap. So if anyone's in Saskatchewan, I don't think we have any in Manitoba, but if you're ever in Saskatchewan, they do have this place called Hudson's and you can get it in a wrap and it is like to die for.
That does sound good.
Yeah.
That does sound good. So one of the things that we touched on your 5th year, and we always love to talk to people about like what is also out there. Like, so you're graduating, you're coming to the end of your Wesmen career. What is there out there for women's volleyball past university?
So I do have one more year left of school, but I might put that on pause to go pro in Europe.
Let's
Very
go.
Very cool.
That is awesome.
That's what I want to do, I think. I'm currently talking to people at Ed to try and do like education. You can go away for your 5th year at Ed, at
Okay.
UW,
Yeah.
and go pro also. Like apparently that was a program, but I think COVID ruined that. So I'm talking to someone to see if I can do that.
Slide her back up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
gonna attempt, but if not, I think I'm probably gonna take a few years off and then just go pro and then come back and finish that year.
Yes.
I love
Yes,
it.
Emma.
I love it. Like
Yes, Emma.
let's get into the nitty gritty of that, because if there's volleyball people listening, I guarantee that they need to know more about this option. So where in Europe? Where's the league? Let's talk about it all.
There are leagues everywhere, and there's like high and low ones. The high ones I think are in Italy and stuff like that, but you can pretty much, I think, go anywhere. My friend is in Switzerland right now, and she loves it. I know a guy from my team, like last year, he was a Wesman. He went to Finland.
Yep.
And like language barrier, but you can pretty much go anywhere and
Yeah.
just, I think it'd be just a sweet experience.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I just want to try it.
would.
Yeah. So my coach
Absolutely.
is, I think he talked to someone and he's like looking for me. And like, I don't even know what he does. He just does all the work and lets me know, I guess,
Shout out
if there's
coach.
a team. Yeah.
That's
Lets me know.
exactly right. Shout out, coach,
Yeah.
because that is like you legitimately saying there's leagues everywhere. There's opportunity
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we should be filtering that conversation to every single female volleyball player in this.
Pursue it.
Everywhere.
Man,
they
we-
definitely should pursue it.
Yeah, we've said it before. Like, honestly, being an adult isn't that great.
I believe it, man. I believe that.
It's just bills and like jobs.
And
it's
work.
not that exceptional.
The best thing. We've said it a ton of times. Being
It's
an
not
adult.
that great. Like,
Not
if you
that
can wait, like, you don't have to be an adult at 21,
Oh yeah,
22.
no chance.
right? Like, you don't need to. Go and play the sports and live it up in Europe and travel the world and make new friends and then come back and be an adult.
Yeah, well, or stay and play. Like, I just think that there's so much opportunity within that too. Of like, maybe you get down there and you realize, hey, I'm playing, and I meet this unreal coach, and then he's like, hey, you want to get
be
into
a volleyball
coaching?
coach? Yeah.
Want to get into skill development? You want to get into all these different things? Like,
You're right, Addie, but then
There's-
you're still being an adult.
but then you're still being an adult. But just go do it in Switzerland.
Just yeah. And just don't do it 5 minutes after your grad.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And honestly, I shouldn't say that. It worked out just fine for me. But it is, if you can, like, man, why not? I think that's the one, I say it all the time now. If I had choices and I could redo things, though there are some of that, like whether I played sports or not, I would
Yeah.
travel.
I've been
for
going
sure.
back and forth with like if I should finish the year and then go, but like I know that I can always finish that 1 year of ed.
Yeah.
Because I've done it for 4 years,
Yeah.
so like I know I can always come back, and I am not in a rush to work. That's what I always tell people.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
that's why I'd love to go out.
That's right. And you know what? There's ed degrees and you can finish your school even if you wasn't here. Like you could,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think, and quite honestly, if you were overseas, you could teach without your ed degree.
Really?
Well, English.
Oh,
Lots of
yeah.
people do English as a second language
I bet. Yeah.
without having an ed degree. So you could dabble into that. Be
Why
a
not?
sort of half-ass adult while you're playing volleyball in Switzerland or wherever you're going to go.
yeah.
So where do you want to end up? Wishful thinking. Like, where would you like to go?
I people ask me and I don't really care. I think
Yeah.
I just go anywhere,
Just
wherever.
apply.
that.
Pretty much wherever they want me, I'll go.
And she doesn't even care what position you put her in. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
I will set if you need.
Yeah. It's so good.
That
so
is
good.
amazing. That I love finishing off with a statement like that, because that's what this whole thing is built on,
that's
right?
right.
Like we wanted to do this so everybody could learn, grow, understand more about what's actually available for female athletes. And you are literally a walking representation of that. So thank you so much for coming on today. Really, really appreciate it. And I want to do one last thing on like the Bison rivalry a little bit, just to plug it
Sure.
before we go, because I think everybody should go to this game. So what is it? How do we get tickets? Wesmen fans, how do we get tickets? You just go online, or how do we?
Wesmen, you can get them at the door for sure. And also, if like you just tell me, like if people are going, like they usually give us tickets that we can give out.
Okay.
And it's like a family pass. It's like for 4 people. And we have a bunch of those tickets. So if you come to the Wesmen one, we can for sure.
Hey, maybe
hook it up.
Addie and I are gonna have to come to a volleyball game.
Oh, there we
That
go.
would be sick. What do I have that day?
Yeah.
Nothing. Wait, you said you're at home on the Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you probably have practice, do you?
I don't know.
I don't know, Emma. I might have to pick up Kyle and come to a volleyball game.
Well, Emma, how do people follow you?
I am on Instagram at mparks22.
M Parks.
It could be m_parks.
I think it is. I was like, Emma, I don't think that's going to take people to you.
I'm sure if they look my name up, I'm sure they'll find me.
Oh my God. And if you haven't already, also go over to Canada West Insta on Instagram and find Emma and her teammates in their trick shot that they just won, because it was epic. It was epic.
Absolutely awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and being a part of the Beauty Sports Desk and taking the time to chat with us about your career. And honestly, I cannot wait to see where you end up playing. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. And Cowie, final words.
It took us 63 episodes, but we talked about volleyball. No, like we said off the top of the show, if this is your first episode of Beauty Sports, thanks for joining us. Make sure to head on over. The best way to share this with people, make sure that it gets out in the world, is leave us a rate and review. We always say 5 stars only. If you feel less than that, just text us on Instagram. Don't post about it. If this is your 63rd episode here, thank you for coming back. Emma Parker, thank you for joining us on this episode. Addie Miles, it is always a pleasure, my friend. I can't wait to do it again next week.
Thank you all, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.